Hi guys, I've done a lot of practical videos lately and I thought maybe I could show you all the pretty things in the garden today. And the first thing I'm so excited to show you is this Newly Noir Color Blaze Coleus by Proven Winners. I bought one plant, took cuttings of course, and popped them in a couple of pots. And I dug up some alyssum that volunteered from an area I had it last year, and now I have these two beautiful pots started. So of course they're not lush yet, but they will be later on. And just to show you, I'm using some of my 99-cent flowers. Not sure what these are. I think they're the Gossiphilia, but they should cascade over, and I love the look of white and purple together, so I'm excited to see how that grows up together. And if you hear lots of little baby birds chirping, it's because we have this box full of baby birds over here. The parents have been going in and out and feeding it, and anytime I go over, I just planted some seeds in the container behind the bush, trying to point to it for you, and I got quite an admonishment from the mother or the father. But they're so cute, and they get very noisy when the birds go in and out, get all excited about eating. So I'm enjoying having baby birds in the garden. And I've got to show you this Hearty kiwi vine that I planted, I think 2 years ago. Once a plant gets rooted, it will really take off, and I think that's what's happened this year. And it is all over the place. It is taking over my deck, and I'm going to try to get a close-up here. It wraps around the banister. So it is a huge, lush vine, and I'm hoping that this year, I guess this will be the third year in my garden, I might get some Hearty kiwis to try. I've never tried one. Let me know if you have one of those in your garden. And then some of my marigolds are starting to bloom. They got kind of a slow start. It was a little bit chilly when I planted them. I've got a beautiful stand of Veronica here that the bees and pollinators are loving. There's lots of activity around them. In fact, they're kind of finishing off, but they're tall purple spikes. And I love them so much, not only for the way they look, but for what they bring to the garden. And I'm just going to give you a quick peek back here at my Dazzling blue kale. I have this in a container plant. And this is the best spot in the garden where I've planted it. I planted it all over, and in other areas it's been eaten up by bugs. It looks like lace. But this spot seems to be the perfect spot for it. So it's a really good idea to plant certain plants around the garden and see how they do. But I'm excited. I'm going to start harvesting some of that kale. It looks delicious. And it's really an ornamental looking plant as well. This corner's looking really pretty. The hostas have thrown up some tall white flower spikes. And behind it, the evening primrose have been blooming for at least a week. And they couldn't be any easier. They seed themselves every year. I do absolutely nothing with them for this wonderful bright yellow show. And I'm taking you back here because I want to show you my potatoes. All of this foliage here is growing from 3 pots. These were grocery store potatoes that I planted in just tall, very actually deep type of nursery pots. And it looks like hopefully I'll get some potatoes from it. So I'm excited to show you that. They suddenly took off as well. I'm really excited to show you the polytunnel bed. I've done a lot of container gardening throughout this bed. And the only thing that's ground planted are the tomatoes. So everything else is in containers. And the zucchinis are the best zucchinis I've ever grown. In fact, I have a lot of trouble growing zucchinis in the ground around here in our heavy clay. So this is how I'm going to do it from now on. I'm going to use containers. So let me show you what's going on here. We have a white zucchini. It's a little dirty. There was a lot of rain, but look at that beautiful white zucchini. Isn't that pretty? I'm about to pick that probably tomorrow. And it's covered with lots of blooms. And we have some nasturtiums blooming in between. It's a nice companion plant. And it prevents certain bugs from coming and bothering your plant. I have a close eye on these, watching for squash beetles. But this is a male flower here. That's opened up. And then let me show you over here. I've been hand pollinating. The bees are pollinating and the ants as well. But this one is a female flower. You might be able to see the difference. But I took another male flower and I removed all the petals. And I just brushed its pollen inside here onto the female flower. And I left it here. And as you can see, ants are doing the job as well. They'll be going between the two. But that's going to go ahead and pollinate that flower, and we'll have a zucchini in a few days. And here's another green zucchini down here. That one I also hand pollinated. So my zucchini crop is coming along. I'm very excited about it. And then I just moved this tub over here. So the kale should do better. It was completely in the shade, but now it'll be getting some sunshine. And I just popped in some national pickling cucumbers. So we'll see how they do, and they might eventually need to be staked. But, oh, and all of my geraniums that I saved from last year, well, actually this is only about a third of them, but I have 3 different pots of the geraniums that I saved in the front here, and one has started to bloom. With all of the rain and mild temperatures, the woods have gotten very lush with leaves, and as a result, it's left me with a lot of shade for my gardens. So certain things aren't doing well back here, but other things are. So the kale seems to be really happy about the shade. I do have a few tomatoes that are doing okay and taking off, and it looks like we have a few cucumber flowers happening. I know they like full sun, but at least they're starting to take off because it's getting warmer. But things like zucchini don't grow very fast in a partly shaded location. So comparatively, that one's pretty puny. Maybe it'll take off, but the kales love it. They last longer in the heat of summer if you keep them somewhere partly shaded. And then we'll see which tomatoes do okay back here. They do get afternoon sun, and I know that San Marzano tomatoes can handle a bit of shade. So I have a couple of those planted back here, I think in here with these beans. So we'll have to see. This is the jury's out on how well this garden's gonna do in the partial shade location. And again, it'll depend on plant choice. We'll just have to see what does well here. The collard greens are gathering some strength, so I think they have really set down their roots. We'll have to see how they progress. And of course, nothing can stop Jerusalem artichokes from growing. Here are some around this hydrangea. But they grow, I think they grow anywhere, but they actually have a very beautiful foliage. So they've done really well, as has the fish mint, which is really a beautiful ground cover. Very hard to get rid of. I actually pulled all of it out, and look, it seems that pulling it out makes it even thicker. But it is a beautiful ground cover, even though it does have a somewhat fishy smell. But I'm happy to have it. It's a nice shade plant. And my black hollyhocks have bloomed. I'm so excited to see what those look like. I grew those at the end of last season from seed, and the plants got absolutely enormous. It's taller than me. They're probably about 6 feet tall. I'm afraid this lighting is making it hard for you to see, but Aren't those pretty, guys? And the one that gets more sun is taller. There's 2 of them in here. This one has less height and fewer blooms. But they sure are pretty. Very unusual. So guys, thanks for joining me in the garden today and seeing what's going on. Got a lot of things that are starting to take off. And I'm just excited to be out here on such a pretty day.